Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hey, everybody. Again, my name is Dan Ihara, and I'm calling you from the island of Oahu, out here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And today we're going to talk about securing listings with a wealthy older adult. Um, I don't know of any market that I've ever been in that didn't have a wealthy older adult market. Pretty much everywhere we go, there'll be a segment of the population that exists. So what is the real opportunity right now? The current market, the shifting market we're in, we're all struggling to find motivated buyers and sellers. Is that something you guys are experiencing? Yeah, sellers in particular. See, when I started in real estate, I had a one narrow focus is I want to get listings, right? And I had to figure out who was selling during the recession because I started in 2005. And we all know what happened when 6, 7, and 8 happened. Everybody else lost their shirt. Many people got out of the business. Well, our business kept growing 10 to 35% every single year during a downshift. Why? Because we knew where the listings were, right? It's this wealthy older adult market. And it's the baby boomers and their parents that are going to go through some changes, and they're going to have some assets and equity that they're going to want to let go of, right? Because they're going through some life changes, right? And these life changes, either a passing of somebody or a health challenge of somebody, or somebody that can't stay by themselves, whatever it might be, this life change is creating inventory, right? And it's a very unique niche that there's really no competition in today's market. You know, when I came to the company 10 years ago, Gary Keller, when I first met Gary, was on stage at MegaCamp. He wanted to interview me on this model that he's never heard about, this wealthy older adult model. And he said, Dan, this is a very duplicatable model. This is a model where everyone around the country should know how to do because it's going to be existing for the next 20 years. Gary gets it. And that's why he asked us to build this training program and also to build a community, right? And it's going to help you secure listings and get cash buyers, motivated cash buyers, right? So what is the real opportunity? There's 10,000 adults turning 65 every day, actually, not year. Can you see that? Every day. And there's 2.1 million passing away every year, and 80% of them own real estate. That takes you to 1.68 million potential listings hitting the market. That's an enormous amount of listings. Consider this: 2.2 million are going to be moving after they retire. They're gonna realize that they want to be somewhere else, and they're going to pack up and move, right? When they move, typically what happens? They sell their home, right? So you're looking at potentially almost 4 million potential listings in this year alone, right? And we all know what's going to happen is the total number of sales has shrunk all over the country. If we went from 6 million total transactions, we'll probably go down to about 4, right? And here's a neat stat. National Association of Realtors says to us 50% of all listings are going to be in the baby boomer market. 50% of all listings, right? If you're not focused on this market, if you don't understand it, if you don't know how to provide services, then you're only dealing with half the market, right? If you want to get all of the market, all of this opportunity for listings, you're going to want to learn how to approach it and what matters most to this demographic. You know, what I learned in business is I can identify a problem, bring that to the surface, and then provide a solution to that problem, you're going to win. And that's kind of what we've done today. We bottled everything, we put it in a package so that you can actually do that, right? So what's the real opportunity? Well, you have two of them. Number one is their home at some point in their time won't work for them. They're going to have to move, right? At some point, right? They're just going to have to move, right? And then they're going to have some challenges with that. The other problem is their investment properties have become a burden to them, right? And they don't have a solution to that. So right now, most of the population doesn't know how to solve this problem, right? It is what it is. Oh, well. What if you could get in front of this problem? What if you could identify it, solve the problem, and everybody in your community knew that you could solve the problem? Your business is going to be huge, right? Last year, we had our best year ever in a market that went down 44%. Our business went up 22%, right? We sold over $125 million of business last year, and I was gone 25% of the time, right? Why? Because we knew how to approach the market, and we have a team of people now that can actually execute on that. So why is it important to know senior relocation services? Because at some point their home's not going to work for them. They're going to need to find a new home, right? And that's the first question is to an older adult. I need to move, but I don't know where to go. What if you were the guy that knew where to go? What if you could help them? Imagine if you were the placement company for a senior. Well, you can actually be that person. And it's not that hard to understand the information you need to get and gather, because that's the questions that they're going to ask you. And we can teach you how to do that. Right? There's a formula to it, right? 18 years of failure in front of that. And then people are going to call you for advice because they know that you have solutions, right? When they know you have solutions, they're going to call you for advice. Also, when you go to an appointment, the seller is going to know that you care, because you're not speaking transactionally anymore. You're not talking about how great you are. You're not talking about the money that you're going to make. No, you're not talking about any. You're talking about a life change, right? And in the way that the life change impacts that individual, right? When you show up with people and you speak as if they know that you care, see, it doesn't matter what you know, right? They don't care what you know until they know how much you care, right? And caring means that you have some solutions for them, right? You're going to get more listings, and then you're going to build a shift-proof market, right? After that, you're going to build a referral network of trusted advisors all over your marketplace. So when I go into an appointment, when I meet with anybody, and here's your first tip of the day, when you meet with anybody, you want to ask the wealthy adult, not somebody that's barely making it, somebody who's got wealth in real estate. You want to ask them 3 questions. Who's your trust attorney? Who's your CPA? And who's your financial planner? Why? Because that's the people that the wealthy go to, right? If you want to focus on this market, you have to focus on the people who are the trusted advisors of that market. And that is the trust attorney, the CPA, and the financial planner. And what if you knew those people? What if you knew them so well, and they knew you so well, and they knew that you had solutions to the problems that their clients are having? Do you think you're going to get business? Absolutely. Right. And that was our lead generation. That was my lead generation early on in my career, is I needed to learn more. So I first sought to understand what I don't know. I needed to understand the importance of the trust. What are the elements of the trust? How are they written? Why are they written certain ways, right? Types of trust. So I had to learn all that on my own, because I knew that if I could speak to that language to the client, then I'm now elevating myself compared to all the other competitors that show up behind me, right? And that's how I started getting more business. Right? Taxes for the CPA, right? And finally, the financial planner, the guy that handles most of their money, right? The thing about the wealthy have all 3 of those: CPA, financial planner, trust attorney, and they have wealth in real estate. Who's managing the real estate? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. The real estate planner does that. And that's why the real estate planner is now in this world today, and we're crossing the entire country. From September of last year, we have over 400 members now, and we're growing like wildfire. Why? Because this is the most predictable market you're going to find. It's the next 20 years. If you want to be in real estate the next 20 years, this demographic is the demographic that will continue to grow. It's a demographic with the most amount of wealth in real estate. And it's a demographic that will be having to sell. You're going to build a larger lead funnel before all the other agents. Agents don't know why or how we get business in our market, right? And in a market like ours, where the inventory shrunk in half, and we're still constantly bringing on 6 to 8 to 10 listings a month, people are wondering how we're doing that. And this is how we're doing it. Right. So why are they downsizing and moving? Because of physical challenges, mental health challenges, right? They're going to have to sell to pay for long-term care needs, right? They have to go to a care home. Family dynamics, maybe family member leaves and moves, right? Or they're selling just to move in with family. They need help. They need care, right? or the home is just too big and too much work to maintain. That's usually the reason why people leave their home, because it's just too much work, right? Right? Selling and buying something smaller, right? Because the house is just too big. And then moving into retirement communities. We understood the fact that older adults, their largest destination of a proactive person leaving their home is a retirement community, right? What if you knew them all in your marketplace, right? What if? And what if you knew the people in there? And what if they started referring you business, right? We have a guy in our community in California that came to Mega Camp as a Remax agent, came to, and they said to his team leader, I will sign up if I can be part of this real estate planner. He joined the community immediately. In 6 months, he became the preferred realtor in 14 retirement communities. He got 9 listings from them in 3 months. Insane, right? Why? Because he executed on a model that's proven, right? This is a proven model, and it's going to go across the country. You know, and then many of them are moving into a lower cost of living, right? In some areas. And some want to live in a warmer climate, right? And some want to be closer to family or care. These are why people are downsizing. So if you understand why they're doing what they're doing, then you can identify them, or you can get in front of it, right? You know what to look for, right? If you don't know what to look for, how would you know, right? And that's why I wanted to share this. So now, where do they go? What are their senior living options? Well, they're going to downsize to a smaller place, like a house or a condo, typically, right? They'll either buy or rent it. And if they sell and buy, guess what? That's 2 transactions, right? But you're helping them with the biggest transition of life. The hardest transition of life is when you're, 60, 70, 80, and you're gonna have to move from a home that you live in 20, 30, or 40 years, right? That's a challenge. Now, some are gonna live with family or a friend. Retirement communities are a big target. And then care homes. Care homes are where they just, they're the reactive person. Something bad showed up, they hurt themselves, or some medical situation showed up, and now they need care, right? Nobody intentionally wants to go there. It's a solution for those who need that care. So what are the levels of care? Well, there's basically 4 levels. There's independent living. We all know what that's like. You live that life. Assisted living, when you need some level of assistance. Here's another tip for you. Write this down. ADLs, the activities of daily living. There's 6 activities of daily living. Should you need any of those 2, your long-term care insurance will kick in and pay for a portion of that, right? And then skilled nursing facilities. We also call those SNFs, where you actually have a skilled nurse, a registered nurse on staff that provides that level of care. And memory care is going to be the biggest epidemic we're going to have, is that our population is going to get older, and we're not going to have enough beds for memory care. It's a fact. The medical technology is keeping us alive longer. Our bodies will stay alive longer, but nothing's helping us with our head or our brain cognitively, right? And that's where you're going to see a lot of older people with memory loss, and they're going to try to figure out where to go. By the way, memory care is very expensive, right? Very expensive. So what's the problem? Well, the home doesn't work for them, and they need to move. And your goal is to be the complete solution. What's that look like? You help them find a new home, right? You guide them through this process of where to go, how to get there, right? You're going to help them sort their personal belongings and remove them. And we use this acronym called SORT: sell, offer, retain, and toss. And we're going to help you move and set up their new home, right? So these number 2 and number 3, the solution is that if you want leverage in your world, it's another tip for you, NASM, NASMM, the National Association of Senior Move Managers. These people are in your community, and they're small mom and pop businesses typically. There's a couple of large ones. I owned one for 14 years, and we're partnering now with the National Association of Senior Move Managers, right? We're going to be partnering with the people who are going to help people before they move. And we're creating a relationship with the National Association of Senior Move Managers and the real estate planner community, so that we can get referrals from them. And then getting their home ready for sale, preparing it for sale, having solutions: kitchens, bath, paint, flooring, roof, gutters, pools, landscaping, whatever needs to be done. You want to have a solution for that. And then communicating and advocating for them all the time. Finally, connecting and collaborating with them, with their trusted advisors, right? So when I started doing this way back in the beginning of my days, when I started learning this, I asked, who are your trusted advisors? They gave me those names. I'd call them and I'd take them to lunch. I'd learn more about what they knew so that it elevated my knowledge base. And that way I could show up differently. What it also did is it built relationships that sent us referrals, right? Because the sellers only have 3 questions. Do I like them? Yeah, most of you are like, oh, do I trust you? Most of you are trustworthy or perceived to be, right? And more importantly, do I believe they can help me? This is a differentiator, right? Because an old, wealthy older adult, they've got a lot of millions and millions of dollars in real estate, and they want somebody that can help them, right? Help them with their primary residence and help them with their investment property. See, because the opportunity for investment properties are huge. Think of this, 34% of all households in America are rentals. 1 in 3 homes on your street is a rental property. That means it has an owner that doesn't live there. And that owner, the landlord, owns an average of 3 properties. What if you could get in front of this market, right? Well, the first question is, what age group owns it, right? Well, it's not the 20 and 30-year-old. It's probably not the 30 or 40-year-old. Who is it? It's probably the 50, 60, or 70-year-old and up, right? They hold a vast amount of wealth in real estate, right? In your marketplace. They built it on the back, they built wealth on the back of real estate. We have clients that are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we got anywhere from 2 to 15, 18 properties, and they just bought over time. Well, they bought a long time ago, and now they have great appreciation, right? And also, they've had it so long, over 30 years, it's debt-free, right? There's no debt on it. So you now have a seller that doesn't have to worry and replace a mortgage. That's what you want. Right. The move up buyer isn't selling because they don't want to leave their 3% to go to 6%. That's why that market's stagnant right now. This market, ladies and gentlemen, is the most predictable market you're going to find. Right. And that's why half of the listings were coming from this. And they're also concerned about their kids managing or sharing the real estate when they're gone. So there's 5 reasons seniors are burdened by their investment property. One is physically. The property has deferred maintenance. They had it a long time. They're now in their 70s and 80s, and they don't want to put more money into it, right? We've got a number of listings today that we're selling because the roof, the roof's pretty bad. The structure is pretty bad. They don't want to put more money into the property and never get that money back. So we're liquidating it. We're buying something either at or above that value. And we're going to remove the physical deficiency problem. We're buying a newer property, right? Things that don't have those problems. Right? Cognitively, meaning mentally they're worried. Mentally, they don't want. See, when you're in your 70s, 80s, and 90s, you think about it this way. Cognitively, everything slows down, right? So imagine filing taxes. See, that's just too much work for them. It's too much stress for them. Making sure all the bills get paid. They don't want to do that anymore, right? And that's why it's stressful. They're worried about family disputes. Have any of you heard of a family fight over real estate after mom and dad died? Yeah, we all do. I mean, if you're breathing, you've heard of that, right? Absolutely. Why does that happen? Well, the smart guys, they say, well, I'm going to put it in a trust so that I don't go through probate. That's a really wise decision. Put it in a trust. And I definitely advocate for that. So you put it in the trust, and I ask them, so how many kids you got, right? And if they have more than one, they have a problem. If they have one, they have no problem because it doesn't have to be divided. Any more than one, you're going to have a problem. 2 or more, yeah. Because I ask them, so let me ask you, how many kids you got? They go, oh, I got 3 of them. I say, dude, are they all alike? And they go, oh, no. Do they think alike? No. Do they act alike? No. Are they in the same economic phase of life? No. What you're doing then is you're putting them in business together when you pass away with the most amount of wealth they've ever owned. And they got to come to an agreement. How's that going to work? When real money shows up and there are different personalities and different needs and wants that show up, and now the judge, mom and dad are gone. This is why we have family disputes. And the real estate planner community is on a movement to keep families together, not allow this to break it up, right? We are creating a legacy with real estate, right? The byproduct of doing that is the listing and the buy, right? But the real purpose of doing this is to keep families together, keep them from fighting, right? Because once there's a fight over real estate and real wealth, that fight goes generational, right? It's going to happen. It's not only going to impact that generation, it'll impact their kids and all the way down the line to a point where they don't even talk to each other anymore. I got 3 clients today that are no longer talking to each other. They're only speaking to each other via attorneys, which means they're spending mom and dad's inheritance to have a conversation with each other about mom and dad's inheritance. That never gets settled. And 2 of those 3, there's a restraining order on the brother. I don't know why it's just the guy, but those are the guys that always get restraining orders. Yeah, it's real. It's real. It's so real. We started doing family dispute resolution. It's a real thing. People show up in our office and we try to keep the family together. The bottom line is you can't divide real estate. Okay? And they have to have clarity around that. Okay? So how do we get there? It's a series of questions. And then they're also worried about capital gains taxes, right? They know they don't want to sell because of capital gains taxes. Their CPA tells them, don't sell your investment property or you're going to be subject to massive capital gains taxes. That's absolutely true if you don't do a 1031 exchange, right? And that's an area that most people really aren't mastered in, right? And that's an area that I did. I believe that once I understood that this is where a lot of wealth is in the investment world, 1/3 of all homes, I said, the only way to transfer that home or to sell it is to understand the 1031 exchange. So I did. So I started teaching that about 16 years ago, and we still teach it today. So what's the opportunity? The investment properties are a burden. They don't want to pay capital gains taxes. They want to create an inheritance plan for their kids. Well, let me say this. Inside, they want to create an inheritance plan, but they don't know that there's a way you can do it. What we do is we create inheritance plans for families so that the wealth goes to where the parents want it to go to, when they want it to go to them, right? And then what happens is when you sell it, because there's no debt, you have a cash buyer, right? And you also have a motivated seller and a motivated buyer, same person, because they're doing a 1031 exchange. They have to sell and buy within a certain time period. So these time constraints are highly motivating. And that's why this market, the 1031 exchange, the investor market, is a completely missed market in all real estate companies that I've seen, outside of just a handful of guys that get it, right? That get the fact that when you master this knowledge and share it, it's powerful because we're saving people hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of dollars of real estate, each client. So is it a good time to do a 1031 exchange? Yes, if you want to upgrade or increase your portfolio. If you want to relocate that asset from one area to another, if you want to exchange to a lower cost asset, we have a lot of clients that have properties in areas where the taxes are high now, right? And it wasn't high 20 years ago, it's high now, right? Therefore, the return on their investment's low, right? So they're selling it and then putting it into a lower cost area. They're exchanging it for a higher cash flow market, right? We do that every day, basically every day. So when an investor comes to us and they say, I'm thinking of selling this, they tell us the burden. My first question is, do you need the income from your investment property to sustain the life you desire? See, if the answer is yes, you're going to help them make more money. We do a thing called an asset performance test. We help them make more money. If the answer is no, they're going to go through legacy planning, right? So that one question is the fork in the road of how to help somebody process what to do, right? And then if they want to bless their family, now we're talking about what that could look like. Right? They're exchanging for poor condition properties, right? Deferred maintenance for upgraded ones. Land, if you have clients with land that's not generating any income, that's probably a negative asset, meaning every month you put more money into something that doesn't generate money, right? Yeah, that's the best 1031 exchange property because you can move somebody from a negative income to a positive income substantially. And then creating a legacy for their family while they're alive. I asked older adults, I said, if you could create a plan so that your kids won't ever fight over real estate, would you? And they go, yes, yeah. So let's talk about that. And then possibly increasing depreciation schedule. This is an area that most realtors miss. See, in building wealth in real estate, there's a number of pillars. There's actually 4 of them. There's cash flow, right? The amount of cash that comes in, net operating income every month, right? Cash flow. Then there's appreciation, I mean, value over time, right? Some markets appreciate a little bit more than others, but generally speaking, we're looking at about 4% a year, right? You get this thing called depreciation. So what depreciation is, it helps offset your taxes. It reduces your tax burden, right? So if you think about it, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So that means that you need to know what the tax laws are, right? And most realtors aren't going in that path. We did, because if you want to advise the wealthy, you need to speak their language, right? You need to understand what that looks like. So what is depreciation? If you take $100 of income from a property, that's called passive income. You're taxed at your ordinary rate, passive income, okay? But the depreciation will offset that income. So what if your depreciation is $50 and you got $100? Now you're only taxed on half of the money. And this is how you save money, right? Understanding how the depreciation works. Know that depreciation is going to be expense to you whether you take it or not. So if your CPA is not applying depreciation, go get another one because they're not helping you. They're taking money out of your pocket. Understanding depreciation matters because after 27 and a half years, you have none of it left. And if you have none of it left, that means you're getting about 20% less money than you could. And if you could get a 20% raise every year, would you? Yeah, right, you would. So understanding depreciation matters. So these are why somebody's going to want to do a 1031 exchange. Let me take you down a path of creating a legacy. And this is a really archaic chart that we built, gosh, about a decade or so ago. Here's a scenario. Mom's a widow, dad passed away. Mom owns $1 million asset that she does not live in. It's an investment property. And mom has 4 kids. And mom's heard of families fight over the real estate. And she said, I don't want that to happen. So she comes to us and she says, hey, how do I not let my family fight, right? I said, that's easy. Well, we can do a 1031 exchange. We sell the $1 million property and we buy 4 more, 1 for each child. And the best part about that is now you're engaging the next generation of clients. You're going to their kids or even their grandkids, and you're helping them select the replacement property on this 1031 exchange. The best part about it, it can be in any state in America. The second best part about it is we now have a community of people all over the country that are trained to do a 1031 exchange. You will have experts everywhere around the country in no time, right? And now you're going to have a fully executed 1031 exchange. We've done, gosh, close to 400 1031 exchanges. We've never failed one. We've never failed one. We have a bulletproof system for it. And that's what we teach in our classes. So mom buys 4 properties. Each of the kids, George, Lucy, Grant, and Ann, are selecting the replacement property anywhere in the country. Some can be in Sacramento, some can be in Hawaii, some can be in Georgia, right? Some can be in New York. It doesn't matter where it is. And the kids get to predetermine their inheritance. It doesn't transfer from mom to the kids until mom dies. When mom dies, it goes straight to the kids tax-free. There's 0 capital gains tax. Had mom have sold the property with $1 million of gain on it, she'd probably be subject to $300,000 of taxes. It's like throwing away $300,000. But creating plans like this for people in your database, people that you know, people that you have their name and numbers on, your first question to somebody is, would you like to build, protect, or transfer wealth? Right? And they go, well, what do you mean? So yeah. I'm a part of the real estate planner community, and that's what we do. We help build, protect, and transfer wealth. Who do you know I should talk to? And they're going to hear them say, that's me. I want to build wealth. Then the next question is, so tell me, do you own any investment properties? If the answer is yes, you want to say, how's that performing? Right? And they say, well, I don't know. I got a tenant in there. So, well, if I could do an asset performance test for you, would you like that? And they go, yeah, I'd like that. And they're saying yes to something they don't even know it is. And I'm sure that you probably don't know what an asset performance test is. You shouldn't be able to. Why? Because I made it up. I literally made it up. An asset performance test only is built because I changed the name of something. It's called a cap rate analysis and a cash on cash analysis. It's two analyses that we put together and we measure the performance. Because what you're looking at is seeing your investment property as a tool to make money, right? Just like a stock or bond or otherwise. So if you have a tool to make money, you know the rate of return. That's what you're looking for. And if I said to you, if I could help you make more money, would you? That's a question. They say yes. You got yourself an appointment, right? Your goal is to sharpen your sword on getting the appointment and getting the agreement. See, in our community, that's all we talk about. We really focus on those two things, about how do you get the appointment and how do you get the agreement? Because when you get, imagine this, if you guys could get 3 listing appointments a day, what would your business look like? Massive, massive, right? And even if you're new, you got those appointments, you're not going to close them all, you close half of them. You've got an amazing year. But what if you got so good you closed 90% of them? Wow, game over, right? And then what if you trained other people to help you with that? Yeah. You see how this could be easily done? This is all within your realm of being able to do, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to show up and you got to play hard all the way. Now, our mission is to build a community of real estate planners that facilitate conversations, provide solutions, and execute plans to build generational wealth and accomplish the goals of the family. Our goal in the real estate planner community is to elevate the way you show up, to elevate the way you're perceived in your marketplace. You see, the world sees realtors not much higher than a used car salesman. Don't hold that against me. I was one. Okay, but believe me, that's how they see us as transactional people, right? We just do this for money. But what if you showed up like you cared, right? What if you showed up with information that mattered to them that could change their life? See, what we're doing in our community is we're changing the lives of those we touch, and that's our goal. The byproduct of that is you're going to build a massive business that no one's going to be able to touch. So we do this in a couple ways. It's in the MAPS Fast Track class. It's securing listings with the wealthy. It starts in July 19th. So if you have your phone, take that out, click on it. You can sign up. It's $199 for four classes, 1 hour each. We're going to talk about understanding the wealthy older adult market. Second is becoming the senior relocation specialist, and then learning how a 1031 exchange at DST and legacy planning can grow your business and get you listings. And then gaining knowledge on wills, trusts, and probate. You see, remember that 1.68 million listings that'll likely hit the market because somebody passed away? That'll either be a trust sale or a probate sale. What if you can get in front of that? What if you can get in front of the people that get that business that refer you the listing? That's what we teach you how to do, is learn how to find listings and get them to come to you. Now, if you want to step your game all the way up as much as you can, then this is a community you want to be in, KW Real Estate Planner. They do have we do have minimum $75,000 of GCI minimum for the last trailing 12 months, 2 years of license in good standing. And this is only open to 5% of the market center, right? So we're going to have a capacity issue. We already have a capacity issue in a couple of market centers, right? Because we have teams that are growing and they're now bringing their teams in, right? Because they know that this training, you get a Thursday, you get a weekly training, right? And then on a Monday, we role play the conversation that we taught you on Thursday. You're going to get in motion, right? You're going to show up, you're going to play hard, you're going to get in motion, right? This is why people in our community are succeeding, because we built a model around it that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? We teach you what to say and how to say it, right? We teach you the conversation and the questions that's going to lead you to the appointment, and then a conversation and question that's going to lead you to an agreement, right? This is proven models for the last 18 years. And we do this, and this is a 12-month program that we're wrapping up in September because we started in September. But starting with senior relocation services, that's 3 months. 1031 exchange, that's 3 months. Delaware statutory trust and legacy planning, that's 2 months. Trust sales and probate sales, another 2 months each. Right. We wrap up with a final class called the real estate planner. Now, what happens is on Thursday, you watch the training and then you take a test. It's a certification test. When you test, you pass it, you're certified, right? And you can use that in your branding, right? Imagine if you could brand yourself as your community's real estate planner. When I walk around with this shirt, you know what I get? They go, what's that? I said, oh, I'm a real estate planner. Do you know what that is? They go, no, what's that? So we help people build, protect, and transfer wealth. Who do you know that I should talk to? And almost everybody says me. Right? It's that easy to attract business when you have information. You must show up differently, especially in this market today, when competition is fierce, where inventory is low, where motivated sellers are hard to find. You want a system to find them, get in front of them, secure them, and get them to send you more referrals of the same people like them, the wealthy older adult. We have a private Facebook page where we share leads daily. And then we have monthly guest speakers. Today is our class in about 15, 30 minutes. I have another class. We're having a trust attorney come on stage and share their perspective of what they do for our clients and how we work together and how do you find them to build that relationship. So this guy keeps sending us referrals. We're teaching people how to build that relationship, right? To get those referrals. Right? And all of this, yeah, and obviously we got social media tiles, everything going out for your social media. And it's $199 a month. So if you're interested, want to learn more, you can click on that and that QR code will take you there. Oh, sorry. Okay, any questions? I think that's it. Yeah, that's the last slide. Any questions?
I think we're giving away the slides on the first page.
Oh, hang on a second. Oh, shoot. How do I get that? I'm gonna get full screen. If you want the slides, this QR code will get you the slides. Okay, if you want the slides. Any questions though I can help you with?
Do you have any questions? Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate your time today. This is a lot of great information in our community here in Sacramento. I think it's very pertinent. Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
All right, thank you.